All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports Extra. I'm your host, Big Matt. Thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with me for a great Tuesday night. We're going to talk about some college football news, names in the portal, surprises, some not so surprises, and maybe, what's it mean to the teams that some of these guys are coming in and some of the guys that are leaving. We can talk about it all right here. I appreciate it if you hang out with me here and hit the comments and tell me what you think. Tell me that it's fine and it's not a big deal, or you can tell me that I'm crazy and I'm just overreacting, and it's not really that big deal. It's not really that big of a deal at all. So, if you're on Facebook there watching, hit that little thumbs up or the heart button. I sure would appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, hit that old thumb button, man. I appreciate it. Share it over to your page and let everybody know where you like to get some sporting news at, just from just a regular old guy that loves the game and is just kind of bothered at what we see and kind of how things are going and where things are right now with college football. So I hope you are all having a good day. It's good to see you on here, Jeff. Get my shirt. This shirt's pinching me. We've been watching Georgia High School Football Championship. Bowden just won their third in a row. Very entertaining game. Brooks County come out and played a great game. They got some players. They definitely do have some great players. They have some guys, receivers. They had some drops. Quarterback didn't throw the ball real well. And Bowden just does what they do. They're going to play tough defense. They're not going to miss a lot of tackles, and they're going to score on opportunities every time that they do have one. Yep, that's a three-peat for them. Aaron Nolan has entered the transfer portal. Caleb Oden from Bama. Yes. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of what we thought. Caleb Odom, some guys here on the list. We can talk about them. We'll go back through some of the week and talk about some guys headed to Auburn, kind of where they're at right now in the portal, and some new players and how some of those players affect their teams too. But we kind of felt like Caleb would want to go. He would want to go hook up with his ex teammate Juju out at Colorado. So let's just get right into it. We'll just start at the top up here. I guess we'll start at some of the newer ones and we'll work back through the week. There's so much going on. You have to you got to be on every day. And sometimes I can't do that. Okay. So here we go. The latest guy hitting the transfer portal and chasing his bag. He's not chasing dreams of being developed or being a part of a team. And that's just the way it is. And, listen, if you watch this show and you're from around here, and if you're not, I can tell you, and you can ask people in the chat too. First of all, before we start all this, because there's some softies out there that are going to come through on the comment sections, and they're going to be, man, you can't talk about those kids like that. These are not kids. These are grown men making grown men decisions. These are not high school kids. They're 16, 17 years old. They're out there playing for free, just playing for the guts, playing for the love, and playing with their buddies that they've probably played with for a long time. This is not the same. These are men. They've agreed upon to sign contracts to carry on their careers out of high school and to be locked in to the educational system at a particular university. And they decide to forego those opportunities by the university that they feel like they could have better horizons to expand their money, to where they want to go to have a future. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And I'm not downing a guy just because he moves. I think the most confusing part about some of this is for, all the teams, Auburn and Colorado guys, and even rumors about Texas and Queen Ewers and those things. Why? That's the thing, I know the answer to it, and I guess I don't like it because I was born in the 70s, and, I guess we're just kind of built different. We're Gen X, and that's just kind of how we are. We have a little more loyalty to a system and ourselves and to coaches. And, I've heard kids say, well, the coaches are not loyal to the players either because they can take up and leave too. Well, they're on contracts through the universities. And I guess that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have contracts with these kids. Hey, when you come, you got to stay here at least, you got to stay at least 2 years. If you want to be part of our NIL collective, that's fine. But we're going to need at least 3. Okay. If you're done with your degree, like Jalen Hurts did, hey, more power to you. You want to go on and move on and try something else to get some more play time, getting you ready for pros. I can dig it. Okay. And that's what Jalen Hurts did. I dig it. He graduated at Bama and went on to Oklahoma to play some more football and be developed by a good quarterback coach, which Alabama does not have and has not had in ever. And I don't know when they've had a good quarterback coach. Somebody tell me in the comments who you think may be a good quarterback coach there. DeBoer's supposed to be a good quarterback coach. And I guess, just the book's out for DeBoer. We don't know. We don't have any data really to go on. Milroe's been through like 3 different coordinators. He probably did about as best as he could do with a guy to come in and learn like his third type of offense in like 3 years. The poor guy don't know what's up and left and what's Y or X. It's very confusing. Bama fans ought to be happy that they won 9. They probably should have lost another game or 2. So, and where we're at with the portal and some guys that are coming in. And first we'll talk about some of these, and then we'll go talk about some guys coming in and out over at Auburn. Jalen Mbakwe, guy that we've kept up with around here, played over here at Clay, local high school. We watched him play. I've watched him for 2 years. He's a great player. He's quick. He adjusts, and we've watched him play a lot of offense. He ran a lot of Wildcat this past season down there to help the team to win state. And seemed to have good skill instincts, ball instincts of where to be on the field and that kind of stuff. Now, he's actually a D-back, when he come in to play, and he played, though, like I said, he played quarterback a lot there at that last part at Clay. 5-star guy. I think he's probably rated higher because of his athleticism. Really is a good athlete. And he started some games at Alabama. So, for Alabama fans, before you freak out and, go nuts, you need to think about it this way. The portal gives and the portal takes away. That's just kind of how it is. So what value does these players that are leaving, what have they added? And Mbakwe, he's had a couple of tackles, played in some games. Did he get burned on some plays? Sure. He's young and he's having to figure out how to play college football. He's had a podcast with Ryan Williams, and that puts a lot of Alabama fans in the mindset that Ryan Williams, their star wide receiver, after one of his buddies leave, they played at opposite schools, but they know each other, because they've played against each other and stuff. And of course, the kids just know each other now, especially 2 big time athletes. What's the comfortability for fans with Ryan Williams now? Is it just going to be, you just kind of walk, or people can just text you, hey, just shooting this out there. We got one of the other guys that's come over from Alabama here to Ole Miss. Would you like to come over here and play defense and start? And Alabama did have a number 2 recruiting class coming in, and Dijon Lee is a big-time 5-star guy from California. You just think that, if I'm a starting player, 5-star kid that grew up obviously in this state, you don't know what Dijon Lee is going to bring. He's not even from here. So you don't know what he's going to bring. Maybe you can assume that he's going to come in and be good. He's a good athlete, and I've watched him play some highlights from 2 or 3 games where he plays it out there in California. Talking about Dijon Lee, a guy that will be taking his place. Bakumba's be taking his spot. Nationally, yes, he's ranked higher than Bakumba was. But we all know that a lot of stars and a lot of that kind of stuff does not. I mean, it could pan out, but there's a lot of 5 stars, guys, and we could go back through it. I may do a special on that sometime after first of the year. That has not panned, don't work out. Jackson Arnold, since we'll talk about him in a minute, he wound up benched. I mean, he didn't. I think he started 4 or 5 games, something like that. Started like half the season. He didn't play. He just didn't do good. Didn't do well. I know they had a lot of offensive line troubles, and the receivers weren't. They're better receivers, but still, you throw a guy a ball. If they're just dropping balls, that's on them. But just not being accurate with the ball and fumbles and those type things. He fumbled the ball a lot in one game, had like 2 fumbles nearly in a row. They benched him. So that just shows you how things can kind of turn out. And we just don't know. So Mbakwe was the first one to go. Dean says, lucky to get past South Carolina. I hate to see him. Yeah, I do too. The thing with limits in the portal, there needs to be some sort of date. Like the portal can't come open until after the bowl games. Or I mean, there needs to be, like, while the season's going on, you're just putting coaches in a terrible situation. So the NCAA and how they're making this, these guys have not ever coached football, or I don't know, because they're trying to get ready to go play a bowl game. And I heard one of the guys say earlier, and they're just kind of being funny, if Bama has like 7 more guys opt out, they'll have to forfeit the bowl game, because they're going to have like. They're at like 14 or 15 now. And some of them that we'll go through here and talk about, some of them were not starters. Some of them had injuries, didn't get to play a lot. So other people behind them got put over them and started and done well. And they just say, well, I'm obviously not going to be able to, get back in on this rotation. My injury put me in a bad place. And I'm just going to, I've seen a lot of guys go back home. Have y'all noticed that too? We've seen a lot of guys going back to where they come from. That's very interesting. Pretty cool. Walter White had his mom, I think the story was, had cancer or something, and he was having to go back and forth to Arkansas, I think. So he'll probably land, if he hadn't already. He may already have, and somebody could look it up. To go be back with family, and he'll probably go play at Arkansas and be probably a good quarterback there and do fine. But, those kind of things, man, what are you going to tell the guy? I mean, it's just, that's his mom, I mean, she's maybe dying. So, of course, he's going to do that. That's one, that's number 2 in line in your whole concept of life, God, family, and football. And that's his mom, dude. So that's, the story of Walter White. So some of these, you get, but some of them, like you're going across state lines. I mean, like, really, what do you expect to do? I mean, Ole Miss ain't beat Alabama in I don't know how many years. They don't even play each other. I don't know when we're lined up to even start playing them again. And it just don't seem like a vertical move. I think Lane does a good job over there. If they win 9 or 10 games a season, they're always probably going to leave him alone. But they've never really been championship contenders. So if you're I thought the whole point of playing this game was to win a ring. And obviously it's just not. If Makumba is going there, which is stories are that he was talked to through the weekend, through Ole Miss. And if Lane contacts these guys, and he's the main one on Twitter constantly complaining and griping about tampering. He's sick of tampering. These coaches are contacting these kids, and you can't do that. It's not legal. And if he's the one doing it, which we don't know, but I mean, whatever it takes to win, I guess. Whatever it takes to win. So if that's the story, and he feels okay with himself, with doing things shady. I'm talking about Makumba or Mbakwe, whatever you want to call him, or Lane. I can't. I've been asked to lie on documents and stuff, and I've lost some things in life that I could have lied about to gain something, and I just felt I couldn't, and it's cost me. It's probably put me in some bad situations just from being honest, just from being like, this is what happened and this is it, and like, well, yeah, you can't do that, buddy. You're fired from a job, or well, you need to have this stipulation and not this one. But thanks for being honest, but we're not going to hire you. So that's just me. But obviously that don't matter. So he's the first one up. Get some of that talk out of the way, because I just want to be up front. I'm not mad. I mean, it don't affect my life at all. I'm just confused about how these starters leave their in-state program to go to a lateral move. Why? It says Mbakwe here, he was a 5-star recruit in this class from Clay Chalkford. I said earlier, school down at Pinson. He chose the Tide over Auburn and Georgia. He will play. He'll have 3 seasons of eligibility left. The next destination. Alabama now has 13 players has entered the transfer portal since the window opened the 9th. Okay. Emmanuel Henderson. We'll kind of bust through some of these, and I'll give you little quick slants on it. And Makumba Mbakwe wrote a nice departing letter of how he appreciates the Alabama fan base, their loyalty. Obviously, he is not. And thanks for the whatever and whatever. Don't write a note, bro. See, that's what I'm talking about. No, don't do that. You don't owe nobody no letter to nothing. You don't owe them nothing. If you got the guts to walk out the door because you think you're going to go get it better, just leave. You don't have to write a letter. Why you got to write a letter? I mean, he has to fill out paperwork, but he don't have to write a letter. Nobody cares, dude. You're leaving. Nobody's like, well, we want to know why. No, why? Why? Who cares? Kids, young men in college, and you're leaving, don't write a letter. Because it's not the full truth. And if it's not full truth, it's a lie. If you want to go on IG Live and just say, hey guys, appreciate the good times here. I don't think it's going to work out. I feel a little pressured because we're bringing in some high recruits in this class, and I may not get to start. This coach over here at this school B offered me $1 million, and that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I need to do right now, because I know a lot of things, and I'm very smart. I'm 18 years old, and I've got life figured out. Deuces. I can appreciate that. It's the same thing as a girl just, running around behind your back. Nah, bro, don't do this. Just come to me and say, hey, we're done. Like somebody else. Okay, good. We're moving on. Just don't give me the crap. Yes, Daniel Lewis did withdraw from there. Nikita Stover is leaving Decatur Heritage for Hamilton. Okay. Appreciate the news there, Ben. Ben always be bringing us up some news up in here. Thank you, Ben. I do appreciate it. Tarbert, what's up, you old rascal? You? Yeah, I mean, you don't. I just don't. I'm confused at this whole. I know why they're doing it, but you want to win a championship. You want to get a ring, and to better yourself in a position to be able to make money in the league. So let's get into some of these names here. I got to quit rattling on so much and get aggravated. It's just kind of aggravating. I'm just confused. Emmanuel Henderson was a wide receiver to enter the transfer portal today. Another Alabama wide receiver will play next season elsewhere. The junior Emmanuel Henderson is expected to enter transfer portal according to multiple reports. Henderson has confirmed his interest to the portal in a statement released by A&P Sports Agency on Instagram. I want to thank my family and coaches in Alabama. I don't want to hear none of that. I have decided to enter my name. Well, nobody. Okay, just don't do that. Just say I'm looking for money, and this team has more. He appeared in 12 games for Alabama this season. He had 5 catches for 96 yards. And during his 3-year career here at Alabama, Henderson, he was a 4-star prospect. Of course, it was a class of 22 that come out of a Geneva County high school over here at Hartford. So, let's say 4 wide receivers and now entered. Yeah, if you didn't know, Kobe Prentice did. I liked him, really did. I liked him a lot. He just didn't get the ball. That's on the coaches. That's on Milroe. That's on the coaches and Milroe and coaches not planning to get them the ball. I remember watching him at A-Day, Prentice, and me and Dean thought he was good. I mean, it was like, wow, he's going to be a good one. Kendrick Law, I don't know the whole story there. He in games, you could see him, being frustrated and seen him punch a player when they was playing in the Iron Bowl, punched a kid in the face with their helmet on, and I don't know if he's just taking out his frustration on those the other player, from the other team, or I'm not sure about him. And Caleb Odom, you tag team partner from high school from Carrollton, G.G. Lewis. He's going to Colorado, and you want to go play with him. I think it's kind of a little bit of a cowardly, little bit of a shitty move, but you want to go play with your guy. Okay. It's not too big of a deal. Danny Lewis, just talked about him. He did pull his name out. Alabama adds lineman here, David Burr from California. Guy replacement from departing long snapper, added him. Keelan Hibbert, a California transfer, David Bird, as a preferred walk-on and a rising junior, did not record or any bad snaps during his 2 seasons at Cal. Said that he has set the standard for 2023 class and has for multiple years. They write about him. Bird is a dominant guy when he doesn't have the top chart in the country. People are confused about what happened. Devontae Smith, too, entered the portal. He's the one that broke out in the big fight that was fighting with KLS in the Iron Bowl. He got his helmet knocked off, and they were fighting over there on the sidelines. And actually, some of the Bama players came over there, like Red, because they threw a ball at Red, I think it was, and they wound up at the end of the game. Red come over there and threw a ball back at one of the Auburn players. That was what you just seen the clip of the Bama kid throwing the ball at the Auburn player, but he had thrown one at him earlier, and that it was about some of that altercation. That's kind of what some of that was about. See, he was a former 4-star recruit. We're talking about Devontae Smith. So he's played on special teams of 21-22, so he never did really get any starting time. He had an injury back last year. He only appeared in 4 games. He earned a spot back during the offseason and was one of the key veterans returning to the young Alabama defensive back room. But Smith, 1 year eligibility remaining, has decided to move on. Didn't make any sense. Justice Haynes enters the portal. Did not surprise me at all. Haynes is a sophomore. Played over here at Buford. He arrived at Bama as number 33 player in the class of 23. Not really surprising, and knowing that with A.K. Deer, he's one of he's top. I think he's like number 5 in the nation running back. To add him, to be coming, and with Jam staying, I guess he's the number 2 guy, and he didn't want to be 2. So, and I think he may be the one that brought Mbakwe to Ole Miss. That's just the stories that we're kind of hearing right now. Dylan Longren expected to enter transfer portal. This was back last week. Transfer portal, according to multiple sources, this was last week. He completed 7 of 8 attempts on 35 yards of passing. He was behind starting quarterback Jalen and backup Simpson. So he feels like he could go play somewhere. Number 13 quarterback in his high school class. And he will have 3 more years of eligibility left. The other guy, who was the other guy that left and went to Pitt and is playing now? And he done pretty good. I mean, guys want to go move on and want to play. Now, when you hoard up a bunch of good players in one spot, they're going to break loose and somebody's going to go play. Defensive lineman Hunter Osborne was another one who played over here at Hewitt Trustful. Just says that he had entered the transfer portal, according to Osborne, as he posted on his Instagram. He was a 4-star recruit. He was number 230-some-odd player out of that class. He had a red shirt his first freshman year campaign and appeared in only 4 games, logging only 3 tackles. Danny Lewis talked about him. Seems sort of Blake Dowd, Alabama adding a new name to the mix for this year's punting operators. Kendrick Law, we just talked about him. Miles McAvey, he was the offensive lineman. He never did get any playing time. Hang on a second. Yeah, he never did. He never did get any playing time. I think it hurt his arm or something. Talking about McAvey. According to Pro Football Forums, McAvey had earned a 44.8 pass blocking mark and a 38 passing snap. 6'6", 340. Talked about Caleb Odom on December the 8th, talking about him going to Colorado. Cubby Prentice talked about him heading out. Jahel Hurley had entered the portal back first of the month. For the Florence, Alabama native, will have 3 more years of eligibility. Hurley recorded 1 tackle over 9 appearances in his games. Keontae Coate, I liked him. He's already aligned with another school. He's at Vanderbilt. He is at Vanderbilt. This is just what I heard, that he did want to play more. They had him at linebacker. He's a big kid. Okay, let's see I was going to see if he'd give his size here. Alabama head coach Board announced earlier that kind of been suspended from the team indefinitely. Redshirt junior team during its 52-7 win against Mercer the past weekend. He appeared in 106 defensive snaps over 7 appearances, recording only 5 tackles. Now, he supposedly maybe had some flirty messages with the coach's daughter. Maybe, he's a nice-looking guy, and she's a single lady. They're both young, But, man, it's coach's daughter, bro. You can't do that. What are you doing? So those are things that we heard about. Jaheim Otis, to a red shirt, to transfer. He was a former top 100 player. I enjoyed watching him, and he lost some weight, lost about 30 pounds to get down from a big size. He was kind of a little bit of a surprise, I guess, to some people, for him to be kind of head out and to be leaving. And he's ranked as a top guy, coming out right now, Jaheim Otis. I think he's going to Colorado also. So him and Odom, I think, are going to be at Colorado. It seems like to me he didn't play as good at his lower weight. It just didn't. And he got shuffled around, and some other guys wound up starting over him. Keenan the third, those guys, it's talking about like nose tackles and the guys, right up front on that 3 front. And he just kind of got overlooked a little bit and got shuffled around and wound up didn't get to start anymore. So he wants to go play. So, whatever. 2025 list. There's Dejon Lee, Ty Haywood. These are some top names coming to Alabama this year. So you got 2 4 and 5 star offensive tackles. 2 4s and a 5. And then you got Dejon Lee, 5-star corner. You got the Henry kid that's coming. He's a 4-star kid. Of course, the quarterback, Russell, that's from Duncanville. They lost their semifinal game of the night. They were already 2 in a row state champs. Derek Meadows is another receiver. So there's a lot of guys coming. And when they're going to add, Bama's going to add 25 players. Well, if they lose 15 and you're adding 25, that's still, you're going to have 10 more than you needed. So, and you got to build. And what's not fair and what fans need to understand, that's, saying that Auburn's killing the transfer portal, and we'll get over here and let's talk about them. What's different is, and Auburn fans know this, we're not tagging Auburn, calling them out, or saying some bad stuff or nothing. They ain't had no recruiting class in years. Number one, I don't know. Some teams are not probably interested in taking kids, and some kids that's come from a 6-win team and then a 5-win team. I'm just saying. But they've been so dry. It's been so bad there for so long. It's just put them in a It's put them in a bad place. And, them recruiting, they need to, keep everybody that they can keep. Let's see here. I'm live about big football transfer portal trackers. Oh, look at the ads, man. Every time you click on something, it's just scavened with ads. Players that have entered the portal. So those are some Alabama players, and you can go look at their recruiting class. And it's going to, the guys are losing, they're being patched in. Okay. And they're not being, some people, I heard some people say they're being patched in by 3, losing a 5 and putting in a 3. Well, Mbakwe, for example, he's a 5. He's being replaced by a 5, a kid from California. That's the top. He's top, I'll look right now. And it's actually just to cure your curiosity. Let's see here. DIGI. Let's see where he's ranked at in the nation. It's a 5-star kid. He's 6'4", 190. So he's bigger than Mbakwe. He's the 19th overall in the nation. He's number 1 corner in California. He's the number 4 cornerback in the nation, and he's the number 19 overall. Okay, so he played at Mission Vallejo, and they're one of those like Mater D type schools. They're nationally ranked team. So Coach Morgan and Coach Lundquist at Bama, they still have a lot of these ties. He was offered by Georgia, A&M, Texas, and Washington. So that's who's going to replace him. Okay, guy that's played big time football out in California, 6'4", 190. He's a big guy. So it's not all true that, you're just running off these players and you're just running off these 5 stars and we're just putting in 3 stars in their place. Well, that's not really true. Barry Alexander has entered the transfer portal, leaving the USC. Jaheim Otis scheduled his visit today, so expect to see soon. Yeah, I think he's going to out there in Colorado. Portal has opened during the bowl season because of transfer restrictions, classes, and other. Yeah, we need to change that. That's the problem. I started out, we opened up with, there's got to be a better time, man. There's got to be a better time for the NCAA. God, they're terrible, man. This is NFL football, but it's even better because it's just wide open free agency. Year round, just go and come, no contracts. Just, hey, I want to go over here and play for the Mudcats. Well, I'm going to go over here and play for the Dip-to-Doos. Well, there's just nothing. They're just flying around out there. You got 18-year-old kids, men, super young men, had just graduated high school, thinking they can make these life decisions with them. And a lot of them have both parents at home, and that helps to have good people around you. I'm just so still confused, and I'm probably going to say this 10 more times. I apologize in advance. The lateral moves from one university. If you're – okay, let's use Fluff. Fluff Bothell. Shout out Fluff. Played at Aniana. He's at South Alabama. Watched him play several years. Great football player. Went to South Alabama. Rushed for 900-some yards. Had a good season. Got noticed. And he's like, you know what? I think I want to go. I want to move up a level. I want to move up to some bigger schools. And he's out there. He's got like 20 or 30 offers. He had on his Instagram, go over and follow Fluff, to Arizona. That's where he was, he's going to make a visit out there. He's got offers everywhere. That, to me, that's what this is about. It's to try to, for the guys that don't really get the extra break, or they don't know somebody at the university, or their dad didn't play college football, or their uncle's not on the board somewhere. You know what I mean? Just normal. They're good football players, but it's just hard if you just don't have something or somebody in somewhere to put you in front of somebody. Everybody don't get that. And Fluff just goes and works, has a good season, and he's going to try to advance yourself, go to a bigger school to create value for us. That's what Nick Saban, he said, I love these kids creating value for themselves. But and Odom played plenty and he started games, and I know he had some drops and stuff, but I mean, and he's going to play with his buddy. You know, he can use that for as an excuse, but like in Mbakwe, you're moving to Ole Miss. How are you creating value from Alabama to Ole Miss? The portal, this stuff was made for Jacob Cornejo. Jacob broke records out here at Cherokee County. Okay, rushed for like 3,000 yards. He's played up at Cumberland up here, a small school at Tennessee, and he had a great season. He was like freshman of the year. You know, one of their big rushers, had 700-800 yards himself. And he wants to, I guess he may stay another year because he'll get probably a start because the guys in front of him that started had been playing college football for several years. Big old strong boy. He's a good-looking tailback. The guys in front of him running the ball because he's like 24, 25, something like that. He's older. He's been playing for a while. I get it. But Jacob now can create value. He'll start next year up there. He can rush for more yards. He'll have a good season, have more tape, so he can send out to coaches, and coaches can get their phones and they can see Jacob play. That's what this portal's about. It's for those guys, man. It's not for some guy to leave Georgia and transfer to freaking Tennessee. What are you doing? Why are you leaving? Now, if you got a program that's just falling to pieces, if you got a team that's only winning 4 or 5 games, okay. Florida State kids are running out there, crap. Well, I'm going to go, play somewhere better. I guess I still don't like it. If you're going to be committed to the university, then be freaking committed to the school. Good or bad, you're just going to hang around and play because that's what you want to do. But this sideways moving, I'm just so confused. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. Okay. I'll turn the fan on. So some guys that will be departing. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We had 18 players. So Auburn's got 18 players headed out. Antonio Kite, he was let go back earlier, a couple of weeks ago. Caleb Burton, that's a little bit of a miss for them. And I'll say, and Camden Brown, I know he didn't get the ball a lot, but I think there was a lot of expectations there. I do. So he's 1, 2. Caleb Wooden, he was supposed to be a thumper, man. He's going to play safety there at Auburn, and those are kind of surprising, I guess, a little bit. Maybe not so much. They do have a good recruiting class come in, and they're going to replace these guys. But still with Auburn, man, they, like I told you earlier, they don't lose a lot of guys, man. They've had I think Gus had a recruiting class in 20. I have to look up 2020. Let's look that up. So I'm not just running off the mouth. 2020 recruiting class for Auburn football. Let's see. I think they were 7th. Okay. They were 7th. Let's see if it'll let me go back 1 year. They have 7th. This was the class with Tank Bixby and those guys. That was a good class. Jay Hardy, Wesley Steiner, Kobe Hudson, the receivers there, Capers. Yep, he's a good football player. Eric Reed is a corner. Pegasus played tight end there. Tisdale, he was a 4-star linebacker, liked him. So that was a good class. That was 2020. And let's see, 2019, 13. See, so from 2020 forward, 21, 22, 23. So last 3 years, man, they hadn't had good classes. I mean, it was 13th year before that and 19th. They had one good class, and it was 7. They're going to finish about 6 or 7 now with all their signings. Still a great class. But you don't want to lose this many guys. They're losing wide receivers, E.J. Harris, a lineman, Their punter, defensive lineman, Keys is going to Kansas. Tight end, Grant, he's headed out. And then they're both their quarterbacks, man. Hank Brown's going to Iowa. And Walter White, we told you a story about him and his mom. Defensive line, TJ Lindsey is one. Michael Riley, another tight end. He's going to A&M. And they lost a linebacker, the Robinson kid. Didn't see him play a whole lot. I don't remember that name. And then Holden Greer, the other quarterback. So Auburn's in as bad a situation now as it was last year. Had Peyton Thorne, and they had these guys back him up. Well, he wouldn't play him. He wouldn't go in the portal and get a quarterback. So now they did go in the portal and get a quarterback. They got Jackson Arnold. He was a highly ranked guy coming out of high school, 5-star. I picked him up coming out of high school. I remember talking about him. He was in the Elite 11 camps. Probably not the greatest, like just dominant, accurate passer. Yeah, I don't think he's as accurate as Juju, but he can run around and he can make plays. And I think he'll fit Freeze's system well. I think he'll be really successful if they can add some pieces to their offensive line. I think they will. And they got the Xavier kid from Virginia Tech. We'll have to see how he pans out, but that's a good start. After Auburn had signed Jackson Arnold and appeared to have their quarterback from nearly set for 2025, we're talking about this other shakeups happened, talking about Walter White leaving through the Montgomery Advisor page. It told them that 4-star top 100 player was just in one game as Auburn Tiger. He attempted 5 passes in just some garbage time, it says. And Auburn's blowout win over Louisiana Monroe. Hank Brown is headed home. 6'4", 210-pound guy, 3 years of eligibility. He's at Iowa. Let's see here. Brown's time in the Plains was to end after only 2 seasons, including a brief stint with them. And they did add linebackers reportedly entered the portal. Linebackers, the Robinson has entered the portal. We're talking about them. We've mentioned all these guys. Tight ends. Gage Keys, former Auburn defensive lineman Gage Keys announced to return to Kansas. Playing, so a lot of guys are going home. Well, that's hard to kind of fault a guy if you want, going to be at home, whatever. Antonio Kite, we knew he was going to leave. I don't know what happened to him. If he got in trouble or I have no idea. So their winter cycle will begin, and they got a big list of guys they're trying to get. Jay Fair from USC, edge rusher Brenton Williams. They did lose another edge rusher today, one of their big guys. The Omar Kelly from Middle Tennessee receiver. Robbie Ashford is, I think he's Auburn now. I think he's kind of pulled the string on that. The Sings kid from Charlotte is an edge rusher. That's kind of where they need to be. They need Malcolm Johnson Jr. from Bowling Green, a wide receiver. Colton Hood from Colorado could be a good cornerback. Cam Riley from Florida State, a linebacker, somebody they're looking at getting. And that tailback. He played at UConn, and I watched some film on him, and I thought he looked pretty good. I think he's got good size to him, Darrell Robinson. And just kind of to carry along with some of that, Robinson was a product from St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, where Auburn had just scored 3 signees for this 25 class. Now, what you need to know is one of their coaches, they have a coach there on staff that coached there at St. Francis Academy. So that's where they're getting some of these players, and that's a good thing. If you can have a coach that's kind of, been connected in with this pipeline for a while, like Alabama's kind of been connected to Mater D, and that's good. And then you got Coach DeBoer's been out that way. He's been around Washington's, recruited kids from Mater D and St. John Bosco and those schools. Those are big-time football programs. So that's the kind of things that you like to see. them be able to reach in the pockets of these big schools. Number 6 ranked transfer running back has made his commitment. The UConn lost a redshirt freshman running back, Darrell Robinson, to the transfer portal. And I think that's he could be good. I think what was his size? I think he was like 6'1", 200 pounds. Yeah. 6'1", 200-pound running back. And I looked at some stuff for him yesterday. I think he'll be I'm not going to say he's going to be Quiz. I think Quiz is a good tailback. I think that he didn't get used enough, and the situation that they had there at Auburn was a big mess, and, it is what it is. But he had some extra experience to the group that includes Alston and, of course, Jeremiah Cobb from Catholic, and, of course, new signee Alvin Henderson, the state's leading rusher, all-time number 3 from Elba. So you look, he's be a good experienced guy in the back. You'll have Alston behind him, and then Cobb, and then Alvin will come in and learn some, and probably spend some time with the second team and learning plays. And him and Cobb will probably get some time in some smaller games, stuff like that. And you probably think that Darrell and Alston will probably be their main 2 tailbacks now. So let's talk about Jackson Arnold. What does he add, for them? What does it feel like that he's going to add to the picture for them? I was trying to see if there's some more. This stuff's going on like right now. I'm looking at it, and trying to make sure I get dates. Kids enrolled. And some of these could be old. See, these are, why they don't update their websites. We kind of got a good idea of who's leaving, and I didn't like them losing their D edge guy. I didn't like losing all their quarterbacks. Man, good Lord, that just puts them in a bad spot. Gage Keys failed to become a regular within the defensive line rotation. I know, and has late to enter the portal. Some guys just don't get playing time like they want. Camden Brown, we talked about him. But Jackson Arnold, for Auburn fans, y'all tune in and hit me in the chats and tell me what y'all think about him. I don't know. I mean, we're just going to have to see. He adds a playmaking ability to the team that they did not have last year. Can he complete all the passes that he needs? We're going to have to see. He's going to have some good guys to throw to next year. Simmons and Cam, and I wonder if the defensive guy, the Champ Anthony, I guess he should, be back for defense. Just trying to think about some guys. So with Jackson, I could see, just personal opinion, my first thought when I thought he's coming, my first impression was he'll win on some games. I think it just kind of fits what he wants to do and kind of how he likes to run the ball, and he'll complement the tailbacks. I think Jackson is pretty quick, not fast maybe, but quick. Johnny Manziel-like. I don't think he's as accurate with the ball as Johnny was, or whatever. He's still playing. I think if you had him this year, I think they probably won 7 or 8 games. Just telling you. If you don't fumble the ball, if you don't throw picks and that type of stuff, he ain't throw for a lot of touchdowns. I mean, he ain't threw a lot of picks, but his touchdown pick ratio is like, if you threw 25 touchdowns, but you threw 5 picks, okay. I mean, if you got 16 touchdowns with 4 picks, you're like, well, a quarter of them got picked off. And how many passes are you really throwing? And it seemed like the offense is kind of what they wanted to do at Oklahoma. They just didn't have the line to do what they wanted to do. And that's why I was so confused back in the summer when we did a big spot on them. You can go back and find it on our YouTube channel there. I was worried about their offensive line. Their offensive line coach is supposed to be great, and I got just hounded. I just got destroyed by OU fans about not pronouncing one of their players' name right, and talking about their offensive line. And I said, man, if y'all win 6 or 7 games, that looks like ceiling. If they couldn't figure it out. So is Auburn going to be able to figure out their offensive line stuff? And you got this guy from Virginia Tech, Xavier, bring him in at left tackle. There's just some question marks there, and I see a lot of skill players coming in and in their portal. I hadn't seen a lot of offensive line guys. I think they had another one that's coming in, but their recruiting class, I know they had 2. I think I've seen 2 on there. That's key, man. I mean, you can have – it seems like he tried to build the motor before he fixed the car, you know? Like, I mean, you don't have to put tires and, like, you know, $10,000 wheels on a race car before the motor's even built. You can wait till you get closer, and you don't have to necessarily paint the car, you know, before the motor goes in. But it seemed like Freeze he just went out and just like painting the car and put rims on it before he ever even got his engine kit. I use a lot of car references, and I'm sorry, I always kind of been a car guy. Like, why are you dropping $10,000 on a set of wheels and the motor's 6 months away from being ready? Why? They're just going to sit there. It seems like it's caused some trouble. I mean, all the quarterbacks do. They ain't got nobody there. They got this scrub kid from Stanford that played at Buford. I mean, he's a state champ multiple times. It's the Ashford kid. Jeff, you may know who he is. He graduated, I guess, in 21, I think. He can win football games. He hadn't flourished at Stanford, but, I mean, I don't know. How do you flourish at Stanford? Good Lord, how did he get all the way over there? Maybe he wasn't highly recruited out of high school. He's just going to have him and then Deuce coming in. And I watched Deuce play the other day. Y'all can go back on YouTube and find the game. You can find it and watch the game. And I skipped through it and watched him play some. I think KJ Lacey's better. He's very accurate with the ball. Man, that guy can go. How'd they let him get out of the state? Dude, how? How did Alabama or Auburn, somebody not get him? Crap. I know Bama got Keelan Russell. He's a 5-star plus guy, plays on a big-time high school team out in Duncanville. And SMU was on him when he was a 4-star. I'm just, kind of surprised at how Ole Miss didn't keep Deuce in state and how KJ Lacey gets out of Alabama and goes to Texas. It's so weird, man, how I don't get that. But it seemed like it's caused trouble with Jackson Arnold being at Auburn. Their quarterbacks are leaving. They ain't got nobody. They're going to have this backup guy from Stanford. Deuce, kid plays at George County, Mississippi, coming out, a 5-star kid. I'm not 100%. He can run, bro. He can get down. Now, he can get up out of the way. He's going to create some explosive plays, and he's going to run football. He's going to run touchdowns down there on the plains, and it's going to be nuts. It is. It will. He's going to score touchdowns. There's no doubt about it. He's a good football player. But where does it leave your room now? I mean, I guess Coach Freeze, and he said, back during the season, like, I'm going to have to start coaching my way. I can't just tiptoe around everybody's feelings and, make sure all the players are happy. And you kind of got to a little bit. I couldn't do it. I'm not made that way. We come here to play football and win games, and I'm I'm in charge. And you trust me or you don't. If you do, everybody get on and let's go win. And it's trying to make kids feel good about yourself. Dude, that's for your mama, man. Go let your mom take care of that stuff, or your aunt, your grandma. We're playing football. It's a battle, man. It's a freaking war out there. You're trying to destroy somebody and make them quit. Physically, you got to push them down to make them want to quit doing what they're doing. They don't want to do it no more. And Freeze said that. And you can know that him and Thorne had trouble, man. You could see them mouthing each other on the sideline. And he said some things during the season, about earlier kind of throwing his quarterbacks under the bus. And that may have had something to do with also them getting up out of there. It may not really been about Arnold coming as much. It's just about them, one of them leaving for, family situation, and the other two were just like, you know what, man, I don't have to listen to this. And he's just being a freaking jerk. He's pathetic. He's a loser. They don't care for him. I don't respect him. And if a player don't respect a coach, it's hard, man. It's going to be hard to coach the kid because really in their heart, they don't trust you. They don't feel like you're going to put them in a good situation. Now, is that why? I'm not saying it is, but I'm just trying to figure out why they dumped their whole quarterback room. You're going to have a kid from Stanford, an 18-year-old star, played over Mississippi. And then this, guy from Oklahoma that's been benched half the season, and he turns the ball over. I don't know, man. Don't seem like they're. I think they wanted Malik Murphy from Duke. It seems that way, but he is more of a thrower of the ball. But he can escape too. He can run. I'm just not sure where this leaves them at in their quarterback room. Okay. And I list off the guys that are leaving, and they're going to bring in, like I said, a good class, and we'll go through. We can go through some of the guys they're bringing in. We'll go through Bama's and Auburn's, and we'll get off here. Let's see. Kind of what's the done product? The done deal. Let's see. The done deal says 6th ranked national class, 4th in the SEC. Let's see. Jared Smith, the edge rusher out of Thompson. Antoine Fagans also played at Thompson. Play safety down there. You got another safety, Eric Winters. So it's 2 safeties. Derek Smith, kid out of Selma. It's an athlete. You have 1 5-star in Deuce. The rest of these are 4-star guys. Defensive lineman, the Autry kid, played Opelika down there. Another 4-star kid, talking about Alvin Henderson a while ago, tailback out of Elba. Linebacker. You got the Falk kid coming out of Highland Home, good football team. Another cornerback kid out of Maryland, the Woody kid. He's a good football player, 4-star. I've seen him, looked at him. The Star kid, cornerback, another 4, and another 4-star defensive lineman, Coleman. Watched him play at Saraland. He was teammates with Ryan Williams. 2 more 4-stars here. The Shoal kid, the offensive tackle. See how he works out from Oklahoma. And another defensive lineman here, kid coming in, 6'1", 330. The Crawford kid. Yeah, he played down here at Parker. Yeah, I've seen him play. He's good. He made remember that name, Jaden Crawford. Auburn fans, you want to probably write down his name. And the last 2 4-stars here, Elijah Mendez, 6'1", come from Kissimmee, Florida, played Osceola as a linebacker. Then they got another tight end, Davison kid, 6'6", 230. Probably a blocking kind of guy. He could catch the ball some. Got a Turner kid, 3-star, wide receiver, corner, linebacker, tight end, D lineman. These are all 3-star guys. Linebacker, receiver, Eric Smith from south side of Selma. Try to give some shout out, some love to our guys in state here. Oh, yeah. The T.S. Seymour kid, he's a transfer from South Atlanta, come from Georgia Tech. He's going to play safety. He's a smaller guy, about 5'10", 5'11", 200 pounds. Let's see how he works out. And that's the Daniels kid we talked about. He come from Beaufort a while ago. He's 6'3", 207. The Oklahoma State kid, punter, he came back, I don't know, a week or two ago. And, the Ryan Straber kid, I'm glad I looked at that. He come from Maryland. He's cornerback. He's supposed to be good. He's a 3-star guy, 6 foot 180, plays corner. And I did see some of his plays. Sometimes these kids get pulled up in small schools. They're just 3 stars and they don't get seen. Maybe, the area where he come from, because he's from up north. Let me make sure I'm right. He's a sophomore. He was at Miami of Ohio, Pittsburgh. He played at Penn Hills. And they all had him ranked at 3-star. Top 300 average. Industry rank him, they had him at a 4-star. Rayon Strader. They playing cornerback at Auburn next year. And again, with these guys, if you're from a smaller school and maybe you don't get to go to camps or something, maybe you just don't. I don't know. If you don't get seen, it's hard to build camp. I mean, it's hard to build your stars up when you're maybe at a smaller school. That's how you do it. You got to go to camps. And more thing about camps. Another thing about these camps, we're talking about the Rayon Strader kid coming out of Miami of Ohio, headed to Auburn. We're just talking about some kids moving around. We talked about Alabama and opened the show. It costs money to do these things. And everybody ain't got money. I mean, there's a lot of kids out there playing around some small schools that are good football players that'll just, kind of muddle along and maybe get frustrated, and because money's hard and school's hard, and maybe they just didn't have the environment or the home life to keep them interested in their books, and they're just good at football, and they just kind of could skate around, and they could kind of skate around in high school because they were good players. And then maybe somebody takes a chance on you. And that, to me, again, and we use Fluff Bothell, you Jake Cornejo, that's what this portal is made for. To me, those guys that, just maybe they didn't get seen at big camps. Maybe they couldn't go to these big camps. Maybe there wasn't any big camps around their area. And they do go to a small school. Like he went to the Miami of Ohio, which is not a terribly small school. I mean, they're known. They're, usually a top 50 FBS team or something. I don't know, something like that. And now he's got a chance. He's got a chance to play defense at Auburn, and a team that will have more. And Auburn don't get a ton of TV time. I mean, they still have some ESPN2 games and stuff. Like the top ranked teams, Notre Dame's, USC, Alabama, Georgia, they get a lot of TV time on ABC, CBS, but this may be a chance for some of those guys to go out there and shine. It may be. Yeah, Stanford is a well-known academic institution. Washington State running back was Sean Parker is leaving. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I think somebody else asked that question, Ben, if he talking about the Parker kid. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, because you got one coming. You got AK Deer coming. He's number one guy. I mean, he's top 5-star to style tailback. I don't think so. Marshall would, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, for Marshall to, that's terrible, man. I don't know if I hate it or I love it. Being asked about the Marshall team that drew, they had to withdraw from the bowl, and now they're playing Army, playing La Tech, right? I think they put La Tech in their spot. Here's both sides of it. I hate it because they're not going to get to play in a bowl game, but they knew that when they made the decision that they made. And why I love it is it shows they love that coach, man. They just wasn't going to play for nobody but him. And I think a lot of those guys are going to go with him. You have to tell me where he went again. So I kind of love it or hate it. Sacramento State is in talks with Michael Vick about becoming their head coach. Look, man, everybody's not Dion. And I don't know if Michael Vick's had any experience. And see, that's what we got to remember. Dion brought them boys up through Pee Wee. Those guys come through, 5, 6 years old playing football. He's coached them all the way through their whole life. He's been involved with them playing football, forever. And some of the coaches he has at Colorado, there's a few of them that's been with him since then. And you can tell he's had a successful year. Are you kidding me? Colorado, I mean, if you're going to a bowl game, we've got to, again, I've said this last week one day, Nick Saban worked college football. If you're not shooting for national championship, well, I'm not watching it. Forget it. My team ain't playing for it. What's the point? Don't do that. If you're playing for a ball game, you've won 6-7 games. I mean, it's a successful season. You're getting to play football and go to a bowl just like everybody else. And you're playing a team sometimes we hope, mostly we hope that it's in comparison and to play a team that's, on the same level as you. But with Vic, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if he's got any experience. Has Michael Vick ever coached any high school football? Let's see. Michael Vick, football coaching career. No formal college coach, but told that the Virginia Pilot, I know how to lead. I know how it takes. Yeah, we all okay. Norfolk State and HBCU in Norfolk, Virginia fired Dawson Otis in November after 4 seasons of the Spartans. Okay, I don't. He's taking a look at this team from Norfolk. I'm trying to look at some of his stuff. Michael Vick's coaching history is limited and does not consist of much formal coaching. It says in 2017, number one, no, we already know all that. He left the NFL 2017. Yeah, we know he's dynamic. He's one of my favorite players. He was just, wow. He's, for me, Michael Vick, Bo Jackson, Reggie Bush, Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, in no order. Most exciting college football players to watch. It's exciting. I don't care if they won a Heisman or what kind of years they had. Just watching them play was wow. Just like, they would just explode on some play and just go score. Reggie Bush and those guys, different kind of athletes. I believe this referring to fundraiser groups have been trying to get the Sacramento State and the Pac-12 to raise $50 million. They're trying to enter this league. Yeah. Vic's we know he's from Newport. So I don't know. You got no, he could be successful. Of course, I mean, he knows what it takes to play and go, but here's the problem with this. Great players usually, not always, Deion's proven us wrong. They're not good coaches. And I've worked, and it don't matter who, I'm just going to give you a story. I worked with a guy that was like great. Well, both these guys I worked with were great high school players, two of them. And not just at one sport. And me coaching the line and me listening to him coach his position, he would explain to him how, and this is young groups, 12, 13-year-old low middle school kids. He could tell them how to do it, but he was just telling them how he did it because it was so easy for him because he was so good at it. But then the kid couldn't do it, and you're like, well, why can't you do it? And you're like, well, I'm not you. Like you were good, and not every kid is that guy. And I think that's where then the coach has to really, if you're a great player, I'm just saying this, and I have no leverage to tell anybody I was not a great high school player, play like a year or some junior varsity stuff, and decided to spend my time doing just being wild, being stupid. Great players, if you're going to coach, Michael Vick, if you're watching, I'm sure he is, you got to be very patient because everybody ain't you. When you're good at that position, it's hard to water it down to just the average guy. Because, like, you're here, man. I mean, you're good. And then to try to teach it to, especially young guys and even college or something in a small college, it's going to be tough, man. I don't know. Good luck to him. I like Vic. And get off the dog stuff, man. If you're going to have a repentant heart type person and you're that guy and you say that you have a different following in life, you follow the ways of the good book, you can't hold that on him, bro. Let that go. He was doing what he was raised. I grew up fighting chickens now, so all of a sudden, you're going to mark me down. That's it. Cancel the show. Don't watch anymore. The guy fought chickens when he was 8. It's just something you grow up doing in parts of the country. It didn't say it was right or wrong. It's just what it was. That's what Vic grew up around. Yeah, Brock, I agree. I don't think they need to add a tailback. I think with Deere coming, and Henderson back there, and of course Jam. I mean, he's going to play. He's going to start. Those are going to be you guys. Trying to make sure I had all these guys. 2 top players. I wouldn't see a real point in adding, not with AK Deere coming. Jam Miller, Richard Young. Is Daniel Hill still there? Or is he done left too? He is he's still there too. He played over Mississippi. 4-star guy. I mean, man, you got so many guys saying he's early a 5'11", 240-pound guy, power back, multiple different style of athlete. He has a skill set to be projected in many ways in their offensive scheme. So these are just some of the guys. I think Emmanuel Henderson, he was the receiver that left. But Young and Jam and Deere, I think they'd be great. Yeah, can they go play in a bowl game? If you sign papers to transfer, I don't know. I'm asking y'all. Somebody jump in there and tell me, man. Can you go in and play that bowl game? Well, about the bowl games, probably. I'll say today's Monday. Probably, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. May get Birds come on and we'll talk about some ball games. Yeah. I don't think Michigan's really good. I think they scheme well, and they're going to they got time to prepare for Alabama. They're going to be ready. The defense, Womack better be ready to play the run. I think they're going to try to run it a lot. They're going to try to run it right at them. So, yeah. They're going to try to move up to FBS with a new style. God, no. Ohio State won't have any running backs next year. Trevin is graduating. Jeff said, take Tennessee against his fighting Buckeyes. Jeff, Marist is playing. North Oconee is up 7-0 against Marist in the golly, both those teams are 14-0. I don't know what A class this is for Georgia. My coach is pissed though about something. So that's kind of some portal news, and I'm gonna look here before I even get off. Maybe tomorrow me and Birds will come on, and maybe a Thursday or show, because the bowl games are. I think there's some tomorrow. Yeah. Let's see. I think there is some tomorrow. Who y'all gonna watch tomorrow? Let's see here. I watched. Said South Carolina State. Of course, lost to Jackson State. I watched some of that one. South Alabama, Western Michigan. That was a good game. Tomorrow, Frisco Bowl. Memphis and West Virginia will play tomorrow night. Is that tomorrow night? Yes, tomorrow night, Tuesday night. That'll be the Toyota at Toyota Stadium. It's the Frisco Bowl. The Boca Raton Bowl is the first bowl that Auburn played in. By the way, just for some Auburn history, if you're interested. If not, it's useful knowledge for you. James Madison, West Kentucky. That'll be Wednesday. Also Wednesday is UNLV and Cal. Thursday will be Sam Houston and Georgia Southern. Friday night, the Cure Bowl. Ohio and JSU, baby. Fear the Beak. I'm going to have to check out. I'll be on ESPN at lunchtime Friday. Gasparilla Bowl. The Gators will take on Tulane. I thought it might be okay. Man, some of these games are terrible. And then it will be then Saturday will be all the big games. So look for us to come on. May do a Thursday show. During Sam Houston, Georgia Southern. Maybe everybody ain't watching that, and we'll turn it on here or something and take a look at it Thursday night. Well, that's the only bowl Thursday, so it'll be a good night to do it. Then we can talk about several games for Friday. And then Saturday's the games. Saturday, where y'all feeling over here? Indiana, Notre Dame. Honestly, I just could care less. I don't think neither one of them's top 12 teams. SMU, Penn State. SMU is not. I don't know how they're ranked in the top 15. They have no wins against any credible teams. Clemson playing Texas. I don't know why. Clemson just got a bid in because they won their conference. They're ranked 16 overall. I mean, there needs to be a format change. Just take the top 12 if we're going to do this. Just take the top 12 teams, conference champs or not. Hey, if you're conference champ, yeah, but you're ranked number 16. Well, you should have not got drummed by the SEC in the two games that you played. I mean, Clemson couldn't even stay on the field with South Carolina or Georgia. What do you think is going to happen against Texas? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? The two good brands of teams playing, who just not really interested in SMU and Penn State. I don't think a lot of people just don't care. Oh, we sold the tickets, Matt. They're all sold out in Indiana. Yeah, because they're all from Indiana, Notre Dame. It's a home game. It's just like it'd be like an Iron Bowl nearly. Of course, everybody from Alabama's going to that game. Nobody else cares in the nation. Nobody. Tennessee, Ohio State, 8 o'clock ABC. That'll be a good game. Then next week, as a Monday, we'll get into some more not really good bowls. Northern Illinois, Fresno, boo. Pitt and Toledo, no. Rutgers, K-State, Arkansas State, Bowling Green, Navy, Oklahoma. Yeah, I can dig that. Birmingham Bowl, if the weather permitted, I'd love to go see Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt. That'd be a good game. It's 3:30, ESPN. Right down Birmingham, probably get tickets for $50, $40. I bet they're not much. Liberty Bowl, Arkansas, Texas Tech. Yeah, Texas Tech. Arkansas should beat them. Syracuse at Washington State. USC A&M. I feel like we've seen that. You know, it's late. It's going to be a 9:30 game on ESPN, the Las Vegas Bowl, and then later into the next week after Christmas, UConn and North Carolina, BC and Nebraska, TCU, Louisiana, Pop-Tart Bowl, Miami and Iowa State. Yeah. Military Bowl, North Carolina State, Eastern Carolina. Probably a good game. I mean, South Carolina, North Carolina State to fall where they're at. Oh, my God, man. They had the quarterback and Concepcion. They had the receiver. But BYU and Colorado. Yeah. Alamo Bowl, I guess, man. Army and Louisiana Tech. No. Missouri and Iowa. Yeah, maybe. Alabama, Michigan. Is it lunch on a Tuesday? People's going to be out of work. May be worth watching, I guess. Alabama gets to travel to Tampa, Florida, have a good visit, get to have some fun, do some stuff. It's going to be at Raymond James Stadium, home of the Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe it'll be a good game. Sun Bowl, Louisville and Washington. South Carolina and Illinois is terrible, terrible, terrible matchup. It's just terrible. That's garbage, man. South Carolina deserves a way better game than that. LSU and Baylor, LSU deserves a better game than that. Boise State, they still don't know who. That's going to be the quarterfinal games. It'll start first of the year. So probably back home in a couple of days. More portal stuff. I may come back on tomorrow night. There's some more wild stuff coming on. But there's some games tomorrow. Might try to see if we can get Birds. See if I can get him on. For Thursday. He's got some company people over tonight. It's that time of year, I understand. And right now, if you're watching on your phone, hanging out watching, man, I appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel. It don't cost you nothing. It'll just let you know when I'm coming on. and come on here and we'll hit the comments and we'll talk about some of this stuff and throw your comments up here. We got good questions, and that's what I like. I like, talking and put everybody's questions up on there if I see them. Auburn High School football running back Omar Madison is reclassifying, will graduate. Yeah, I saw that. Where is he going? Where is he interested in going? Juju says, yes. Yeah, they play Wednesday night. I'll definitely be watching that one, Beaufort and Carrollton. Should be a good game. A lot of athletes. Omar Madison, where is he going? For Christ's sake. Let's see. I'm going to do. Okay. Omar Mabson, he's from Auburn, plays there in high school. He's talking about he's going to graduate this coming year, so he'll be done. Shows him as a 3-star right now. In the mix is just top to bottom here: Alabama A&M, Arkansas State, and Auburn. He is a 5'9", 200-pound back from Auburn, and says Florida offered him back in the summer. In August, SC did. Vanderbilt offered him in the summer. Kansas offered him back early summer. So did Arkansas. So there's some interest there. Looks like he's rushed far last year, almost 1,300 yards. Shows him here in a picture visiting an Alabama game. It's his profile picture. Good looking kid. Looks like a tailback, He got a nice jawline and, thick shoulders and looks like a tailback. So we'll see where Omar. Could they use him? You don't know. I mean, you might as well offer these guys and pick them up in the portal. Or pick them up before, because you don't know who you're going to lose in the portal. Let me ask you this. How can you feel like how do you bring in kids from high school and expect to develop them and expect that they learn your system, say if he's a quarterback, and he plays for a year or two and he struggles, throws some picks, and, it costs you a game or two here or there. Maybe your, defense is working some bugs out, and maybe they cost you a game or two, and you wind up losing 4 games. And you go 8-4, which is a good year. But this Nick Saban fantasy world, Twilight Zone that fans live in, by God, if you don't win 10, then you failed. That's just insane. But then they don't want to hang around. So, if you can't get nobody in a rhythm of what you're doing at any team, how does that affect college football as a whole? How does it affect the fan, the basic guys? What's up, Logan? How does it affect the basic fan in watching a game of football? How does it affect us in this portal where kids are moving around so much? You can't even bring in a high school kid and try to, bring him in your offense and him just be a well-developed guy like Penix was. Go and coach DeBoer all over from Indiana over to to Washington. How does it affect the game that we love to watch? It does tremendously for me. The first Bama class to not win no, they hadn't won it. Malachi was the last. Yes. Yeah, they hadn't won it since 20. So that recruiting class, I guess if they come in 20, there's freshmen and they graduated, they graduated as SEC champs, some, but no, not winning it. Lost to Georgia on because of a receiver going out of the game for Bama Williams. When he went out, they didn't have another answer because they were heading the game. They would have beat Georgia. Georgia fans know that. They're not crazy. Well, I mean, some of them just won't admit it, but they know. Man, they know. There's lucky plays that teams make, and like Bama ain't never made lucky plays to win games. Your kid made 2 field goals to beat Tennessee. There's no reason Alabama should have beat Tennessee. Ain't a reason in the world. Lane should have beat Saban that day. And Bama should not have been playing. And Texas shouldn't have made it either. They put a second back on the clock when Dominican Sue's at Nebraska. They shouldn't even been Bama and Texas. Just if you just really want to be real honest about that year. So I'm saying, players going out cost Bama that game. So no, yeah, this will be their class, and they hadn't won it in a while. But I mean, what's your realistic achievements? God, man, 8 or 9 win season, that's good. It's hard to win. I think just the Saban effect has just sprinkled this Saban dust on everybody. You just expect that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm saying it's not going to ever be that way again. I'm going to tell you right now. And a lot of people, if you're watching this, you probably watch college football a lot. And if you're probably usually by what I read on my graphs from YouTube and Facebook, you're about my age, between 40 or 50. So you watch football in the 80s and how teams would dominate, like Nebraska, Miami, Florida went on some runs a little while. Florida State had some times that they were dominating. And then Alabama just gets into the, early and mid 2000s and just runs the country. That's over. You can't get a kid to commit to sit down long enough to teach him something. You can't really build anything, And talking about like, it's just NFL with just free agency. It is. This is like NFL ball with full-time free agency. You just be full-time free agent. You just go, come when you want, get money here. They may pay a kid to come. Okay, what if they pay who was it? Was it Otis that was going to Colorado? Okay, say they pay him. He goes, shows up, check clears, he's in, does all his class stuff, but some of this stuff, one, you got to remember about classes and how do all the classes transfer. All classes don't transfer the same. Let me tell you. I know. Not all. Most do. That's a problem. And when you're getting this money, you got to pay taxes on that money. So if you get $1 million, you know how much you get to keep of that? Maybe half of it. There's taxes to be paid on it. But if it just keeps kids moving and you can't sit down and teach them nothing, then, what are we doing? What's really the whole deal? They're participating with a team for 2 years. If you can't learn the system, then transfer. So what are we going to get? What kind of football are we getting? Is it the kind of football that we enjoyed? It's just done. There's not going to be no teams make those runs because you can't get a group to settle down and to commit to a team. It's going to be like, it's a foreign affair to have a kid and come on, to play 3 years. If you can get a kid to come in, sit down 3 years and participate, come to practice every day, show up and be on time, do his classes and stay eligible, it's an anomaly. It is. It's going to be an anomaly to be able to have a real actual football team that can sit down and play and create plays, to create a playbook based around your play. Think about it as a coach. Just imagine if you're coaching Logan or Jeff, y'all are hanging it, y'all are in there watching with me. I appreciate it. If you're coaching And well, okay, we'll use Auburn. So they got a mess in the quarterback room. Jackson Arnold comes in. We know kind of style the football player he is. And he kind of already makes the style that Coach Freeze wants to play. He wants to run fast. He wants to play RPO. He wants to read these ends to give it, pull it. He's going to read the corners. The guys are playing tight, playing off the throw it quick. Quick plays, get it out of their hand. Let the running backs make moves. Tight ends and guards are going to be moving a lot. You got tackles, double pulls, and you got traps and indoor schemes. How you running inside on the 1 or the 2, or stretching plays to run the 4 or 5. But some part of it, you have to mold some of that to be molded towards your player. And so you do that. And he's starting over, man. He's got another quarterback. I just don't see how you can get any kind of rhythm and just don't create any kind of confidence in a player. It don't create confidence in a coach or the program. And say if Auburn only wins 7 next year, well, it's improvement, but that's a good year. I mean, you're going to get to go to a bowl game, and it's improvement, but you want to build towards try to get into the playoff and win a championship, because winning a championship is what brings money and notoriety to a program to put you on TV live more channels for the program and for the school. That's what it's about. All this is about money. If you can't win enough games as a coach to get our team put on TV on an ABC or something, we don't need you. We need to be on primetime spots making money. It's just that whole effect. Everything I just named, don't think I'm crazy or I'm just running in a rabbit hole. It starts with those little things. It affects it. So, Arnold comes, and I think he's got 2 or 3 more years to play. So he comes, and the offense kind of suits him already, so don't have to change a lot. Some things here or there, you move things around, and you see how he plays and how his quickness and his thought process, and he needs to be involved also in it. Now, you're not going to change like the whole offense based around the player. I'm not saying that, because then Deuce will come in and, maybe get some second team work in there somewhere behind him. So they're all playing to run these same plays, but some of them you have to kind of, player kinetics and how they play and how they are a little. It has to. And you spend this time with them and learn that and do that, and then they leave. Then they're gone. I don't like it here. We don't even know. How do you know if you even like it? We didn't have a successful season because you played one season. How do you know? Like Mbakwe, because Bijan Lee is coming from California, a 5-star corner. You don't think you can play? I mean, it's kind of like this. When you're dating somebody, you got a good girlfriend, or say if you're married, you got a good wife. These people that wind up, leaving their partners and cheating. Why are you even looking? So somebody's not doing something right to keep you interested, not being a good mate. And that's the word teammate, mate, your wife's your mate, or your teammate is a mate. You're accomplishing some things together, but also separately, you have to accomplish these goals and then put them together to be a good team. That's how you make it. And it's hard. And it's just like, you're just ready to divorce the team. And, like, why? What, like in Bakwa, why? He can't, go sit down in the office, say, Coach DeBoer, I want to start next year. Okay. We're going to go in the spring, and you're a good player here, and you've been showing up and doing your job. I can't say right now, hey, we got a bowl game in just 10 days. We got a bowl game in just a week. Can you not come in here and ask me if you're going to start? It would piss me off. What do you mean you're going to start next year? How about we just get worried about the freaking game that we're going to play in 10 days? Get the hell out of my office, man. What kind of crap is that? Don't come in here and ask me that. We'll talk about it in the off season. And if he gave him an answer like I would have, maybe that's why he left. Because I don't think they would even ask Saban. They would. You think they'd go up there and knock on his door and they sit down in that seat and he hits that old button and the door closes? You're sitting down there and he's looking down at you. Excuse me, Coach. I was just wondering. Yes, I'm trying to prepare for a game here. Hello. What can I do for you? If you don't just stop what you're doing, just let me close my computer and put my phone on silent. Yes, you're all the whole world and everything revolves around you right now. Just tell me exactly what you want. Would you like your toenails clipped in the morning or at night? Shut up. This is where we're at, and this is what we're going to be doing. And I don't know how the situation went down, but there had to be some kind of conversation. You can't just leave the team. You have to fill out paperwork, and the head coach had to know. There's no way that any of these guys at any of these schools are leaving. Those 15 or 16 we just talked about at Auburn, these 15 or 16 that's leaving Bama. There's no way that Coach Freeze or Coach DeBoer didn't speak to them. They don't just fill out papers and write this letter. Thank you, fans, for all the. Shut up. Don't write that letter. That's stupid. Shut up. So that the coach could sit down and talk to him and go, all right, look, we'd like for you to stay around. What's it going to take for you to stay? $1 million. Lord, man, you started like 3 games for me. We think you're great. Really? You want $1 million? Have you tested your worth out there in the market? And some people will say this, hard Bama fans, and I'm just a realist. I guess I'm not a hard Alabama fan. I'm just honest, and that's fine. People don't like that, and you can get over it. Well, Matt, when you leave Alabama, see, that scripted A on you next, see, it's created value for the player. Shut up. No, it ain't. What are you talking about? They don't care about the scripted A that hangs on this on the front of that jersey. You think they care about it? They want that name on the back. Siski told them the other night on Bama Standard. It's the truth. They worried about ish on the back of the shirt, ish. Not the scripted A. That used to bring value because you had Nick Saban as the head coach, and they knew, another coach, another school knew if he got a player from you. Pete Carroll said it when he was at Seattle. I knew when I got a player and we went down there and watched film, or we went to a camp and we watched these guys at Bama. When I was looking for these linemen, sometimes they may have some knee problems. I noticed a little bit, but we knew when they come in, they're going to sit down, put their helmet in their locker, put their freaking cleats on and get dressed and grab that helmet up, and they're going to hit the field and they're going to be ready to go win. And they know how to win, and they know what it takes to win. And that's what I want. We want to win because winning makes everybody money. Saban's gone. There's no what value do they have? You lost to Vanderbilt because you had your head up your butt. The play calling was par and the defense was a joke. And you can't even score a freaking touchdown on Oklahoma. None. They couldn't score neither. Our offense had to give them the ball to let them score. It was a terrible game. Both teams, trash. That value that gives players the incentive to go out from Mbakwe to Henderson, whoever, to Antonio, whoever those guys are at Auburn leaving, there's a value to the school to say, well, we're going to go out here, and the coach at the other school knows that they're getting a good player. What are you talking about? So to the conversation with him at Alabama, yeah, wait out my odds, coach. I think I'll take $1 million to stay. Okay, what is that based on? Well, it's just a number I come up with. What? Okay, where'd you come up with that number? Well, I just thought I'd be worth $1 million. I mean, I'm looking at other players. I mean, I'm a 5-star guy. Started a couple of games. I know I got burnt deep on some few plays that probably cost us a game in one of the games, a Vanderbilt game. But I'd love to stay here. What a great place. Wow. So $1 million, that's what it's going to take. Well, let's just look that up. And Saban always encouraged kids to come back and maybe not go pro. Stay around another year, create value. So taking your skill set of where you're at and going to another team, is it going to make you, are you going to be better at another team? I mean, are you going to change who you are? Now, if you change your work habits and those type things, yeah, you're going to be a better player. But if you keep doing the same things, it don't matter where you're at. So getting a change of scenery sparks your inner self to just become great, and I'm really focused and locked in now. Well, of course you're going to be better. If you had done the same thing at the school you just left, idiot, then you would be great there and not look like a traitor or a quitter. It just seems like you're quitting. No, man, see, they ain't quitting. They're creating value. What have you created? We just talked about Fluff and Jacob Cornejo, or maybe that Darrell kid that come from UConn. They're at a small school. He created value for himself to move up to a bigger school. That makes sense. I get it. Cheers to them. Clap it up for those guys that's working and trying to get noticed and create value for themselves by working hard. Not going from one D1 school that's a top 15 team to another one. What's the point of that? That seems like you're just chasing money. And that makes you seem so petty and so childish and so just hunting. What are you looking for? I mean, just in life in general, what do you want? You're going to make money at the next level. And the idea for them to be able to sell like Saban can sell, well, Alabama's got the most number one draft picks. I think we got about 60 or so in there that's been drafted for more than anybody. Them and Ohio State, they're right there together. But now that you can't keep a group of kids together to try to make a run and go on and win a lot of games for years, not just have a good season. Like, let's see what Oregon does next year. Let's see how many games they win next year. I'm talking about to build a program, because that culture, define the word culture. That ain't no culture in college football. What are you talking about? I just went through 15 kids from Alabama and Auburn that they don't. Some of them have legit reasons. Some of them are going home. Some of them have family problems they need to take care of. And some of them had injuries and didn't get to play, and they want to play. But a starting guy at a D1 school to go start at another, like Isaiah Bond, why? What do you? Well, I don't want to play for a new coach. Well, you're going to play for a new coach over there, so it's the same thing. What are you talking about? If you're trying to do this, there ain't nobody bouncing on you, young man. Nobody's bouncing on your whole idea of what you're trying to do. But at least have enough guts and nuts to you to write. Don't write a letter and be like, I want to thank the team and all the coaches for spending their time. No, you don't. Why? What are you thanking them for? They're just doing their job. You don't have to thank them for that. You don't have to thank people for doing something they're supposed to do anyway. Just say, bro, this team over here offered me some more money. They didn't want to pay me here, so I'm going to go do something else. And that's what's driving these people like me away from the game. And it's not about certain teams and having like, Alabama can't be on top no more and run it for, you just not in, are you? That's just being a Bammer. That would be being a Bammer. That's not it at all. I'm all about kids getting back and moving up. Like these gentlemen I just give you examples for. That Raider kid that was from Miami of Ohio, it's coming to Auburn, cornerback. Great example. Moving up, bigger schools, a little more money, a little more TV time, building value for herself. I like it because you have to freaking work to do it. What the hell? What's Henderson done to build value for herself to go from Alabama to whatever. Where there's not a move up. Where are you really moving up to? Now, if you can't start and you can't play and you've had injuries and that kind of stuff, and half of those kids on the Auburn and Bama list, they are that way. Some of them got run off because of personal things that we don't know the whole details about. But there's about 5 or 4 on each of those lists for Bama and Auburn that you just shake your head and go, what? Are you doing this? Trying to make something better for yourself? Like Fluff is wanting to got in the portal. He's going to leave South Alabama and visit Arizona. He's got about 20 offers. That's great. That's what this is portal's for. It's not just for moving from one big school to another. You start here, you're going to go there and start. What's the advantages? There's only one thing that could be the difference. And that is where we're calling you nutless. Because you're just looking for a bag. There's nothing here. What's the difference? Because the coach you couldn't sit down with a coach and he couldn't pinpoint you in to start on December the 16th. I can't pin you in to start for fall of 2025. I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. You may get hurt. God forbid any of that happens. We don't want any of that to happen. We want you to come and start. More than likely, he's probably telling the guy, yep, you're probably going to start. Okay, then good. I need $1 million. What are you basing that off of? Saban's not here. How are you holding some value here at this university? Saban's not here. You haven't been you're D-back. You ain't been coached by one of the best ever to do it. Deion Sanders could sell that better. He did play the position. He's got a gold jacket. He's a Hall of Famer. Deion can say, man, you come out here and play DB for me, Travis Hunter, when he went with him. I can tell you things of that position, how it works, that'll help you. Now, it will work for everybody. Well, no, it does take a little talent. Travis is talented. But it also helps when you got good coaching with good talent. That's how you get to the league. Quick. Oregon has a cream puff schedule for next year. They play Penn State, Indiana, USC, and Washington. Yeah, I think I did look at their schedule. So what do you do? There's going to be some homework for you guys to do when we come back on in a day or two. We'll talk about it some more. What do you do as a coach? What are you supposed to do? Just go independent, schedule all fluff teams. I don't know. You need to play some couple of good games, get you guys, see where they're at, keep them revved up. Maybe towards the end of the year, about the first 4 or 5 games, just play Mercer, Murray State, Georgia Southern, or, McNeese State, Charleston Southern, South Carolina State. Just play those first 5 games. Boom, play all of them. Let your starters come in, get some good reps, go out there and whack them out pretty good. Fourth quarter, let your second team guys come in there and play. 5 games. Take a week off, then go play a big game or 2, and then just schedule like Florida, Mississippi State, and Florida, Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt. We'll play those 3 in the middle. Then let's just play. Take another week off. We'll play 2 crap teams at the end too. We'll pick up Colorado State and see if JSU wants to jump in there and play we'll give them a little bit of money. And the thing that don't work, it does for Notre Dame because they're Notre Dame. To make the money for the lesser teams to come play you have to pay them some. Well, you have to create value for your team. So you're only going to play like these 4 games Jeff's talking about. Penn State, they'll be in there. They're going to be ranked next year. Indiana, they'll be, top 20. USC, top 20 maybe. Washington. But you got to create money so you can pay those little schools to play you. You know, yes. Who will end up winning? When is the FCS championship game? I need to look that up because I watched South Dakota play the other night. Oh yes, and Calzada played it where A&M and went to Auburn. He is an incarnate word, and they lost in that FCS semi game. He's in the portal again. He's like 25. He's got to be 26, man, because he had done moved and moved. He was like 24 or 5 when he was at Auburn. And he went to Incarnate Word, which is a powerhouse school. I mean, they're like North Dakota State, South Dakota State. They're very well known. These guys, man, like Cam Rising, and what are we doing? I guess you can hang around, is Cam Rising, is he going to jump in the portal? Is that something he's, a 27-year-old quarterback? Had a shoulder. Is he, susceptible to getting hurt or some more now? I don't know. So somebody you want to take a chance on. So there's some Alabama and Auburn portal news, and there'll be some more tomorrow. Trust me. And I'll go on the page and I'll share it through the day as I can. And this is what we're going to have to deal with. If you're going to be a fan, I guess just be a fan. Just shut up and be a fan. And I'm just kind of losing interest in it, really. It just is. I mean, you can't cheer for nobody. Like, what if you're a Ryan Williams fan? And as of right now, I don't know. In the morning, you may wake up and he decided he wants to go get in the portal. He's a good player on your favorite team. Kids, who do you root for anymore? How is this making college football better? Is it making for better games? I guess maybe making for some closer games than some of them. And then you see teams like Indiana go up there and play Ohio State, and they got like 70 yards total at half. They can't. Those kids from James Madison that he's got in up there, they don't match up. They don't match up with Ohio State. Valdosta State plays for D2 title. North Dakota State plays South Dakota State. Saturday. That'd be a good game. I've watched them play for years. The Bison and the Jackrabbits. You want to watch some good football. Those are good. They got good players on those teams. And I thought, man, how does North Dakota State, Bison, because JSU played them the year I was at JSU. So I studied up on them. I was in class with a few of the players, one of the receivers, the Marcel kid, and the Michael Fanning. He come from Bama. He was on that JSU team. And I talked to him some in class, just shoot the ball with him. And where are these guys from in North Dakota State? So I did some looking into. And their tailbacks like from, Miami. They got players. They got great players. So it's not just like because you think, how does South Dakota State get out there and ball and win all these games, win all these championships, starting quarterback and go to the NFL and play the 49ers and, win championships? Where are they from? So it'll be a good game Saturday, but hang around on during the week. Subscribe to the channel, and they'll let you know when I go live, because maybe tomorrow, if it's more stuff's coming in, I may come back in here tomorrow night and talk some more. But definitely probably, let's see what he say. Try to get Birds come in and shoot the breeze with me. He's riffing basketball. Darn it, Birds. Dump the game, Birds, and just do a live show with me. So I'll probably come back Wednesday or Thursday. We'll talk about these games for the weekend. So maybe if Dean's off one day, we might get him in over here. So, all right, y'all have enjoy the rest of your week. I think you got some rain coming. Warmer days tomorrow, but rain. And then towards the end of the weeks, Thursday, Friday, Saturday's cold. Just cold. So that'll do it for us. Appreciate you coming by, hanging out. Locker Room Sports Extra, portal news, and more. We're here to give you the coverage that you want, everything that you need. See you, Brother Jeff. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you soon.